We are coming to a close of a series where we've been discussing the power of being reflective and going in life with an attitude of finding out if there is something to life more than what we're experiencing. That if we don't do this, we end up living a life that is basically an autopilot, a life by default, which is not the forte of the crown of creation, which is the human being. And we've been looking at some of the questions, the important questions that one must ask. And today I'm going to probably close by sharing some other related questions to the ones that we've already asked. And these questions were posed by none other than Dr. Myles Munroe, the late. And probably I've shared these questions with you before on this channel. And I'm going to repeat them because they are absolutely important in the context of my discussion today. Because I'm saying that you will always be successful to the degree that you are inquisitive of life. And you question the results you're getting. You question the things that you are seeing. Your heart is unsatisfied by what you're seeing. There's a beating of your heart to something greater, something better in this life. So stay tuned even as we extrapolate all this.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
I started this series by quoting someone that, this quote has been around for quite a while. Said something extremely powerful. And I know some people have quoted also J.F. Kennedy, who said that ask not what the government will do for you. Ask not what we can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. But then there's a man who said something very powerful. He said, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that. Because what today the world needs is people who have come alive. And you see, this guy is talking about asking. You cannot come alive without asking. You don't come alive by voila, I am alive. You come alive by a realization, some kind of realization that comes in your life. That's how you come alive. Ask not. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you as an individual. See, one of the most forgotten people in the world, do you know who that is? The most forgotten people in the world, do you know who that is? It is the man staring you in the mirror. The woman staring at you in the mirror. The most forgotten people this world has ever seen. Because thoughts are always on other things, other places, other people. Never on the man staring in the mirror. Never requiring and asking of themselves things that they're supposed to do, places they're supposed to go, the contribution they're supposed to make, the impact they're supposed to create. The most forgotten of all people is the self. But when this self starts remembering and starts requiring and starts being reflective and inquisitive and curious of life and start questioning the feedback they're getting in life and seeing that, listen, I'm the crown of creation, I'm the child of the Most High God, I'm the child of the living God, I've been bought with a prize. This is not what I'm supposed to be getting in life. Once you become dissatisfied with the things that you're getting, then that's when you realize that you need to come alive. But the moment you continue being satisfied, and we are so oblivious, it's like we are on some kind of opium, thinking that the only thing we've got to do in life is to make it, whatever that means, put food on the table and clothes on our back and pay bills, and that's just about it. And we have that opium, it's just dazed us. And it is the rarest thing to ever see a human being coming alive. The rarest thing ever. But we say that if that is going to happen, you've got to be someone who asks questions. And we've looked at 3 questions, and I'm going to go right at them and just brush past them. The first question you've got to ask is this: whom was I born to deliver? Who is it that I am their deliverer? They look up to me because, listen, deliverance is not only for Jesus Christ or for John Maxwell or for Abraham Lincoln or for Nelson Mandela or for Kwame Nkrumah or for Julius Nyerere. Deliverance is for every human being born of a woman. You are a deliverer. You came here because you are a deliverer. You did not come to become. You came because you are already a deliverer. The reason as to why you came on the face of the earth is because you're someone else's hero or something else's hero. You are a solution waiting to happen. You came because you are a solution, not to add into this world's problems. You came because you are a solution. I know that sounds motivational. Someone might be asking me, how about those guys who are blind, those guys who cannot see, those guys who are paraplegic, and what about those guys who have misfortunes and so on? It doesn't change the fact, ladies and gentlemen, that they are a solution in this world. I cannot reconcile myself to the fact that a loving God, the maker of heaven and the maker of earth, can create someone to be a problem, can create someone to be a burden, can create someone to only suffer fleeting years and suffer, waking up and sleeping in suffering. I cannot even begin to reconcile myself to that fact. I reject it offhand. And I choose to believe that the creator of the universe created you to be on a mission, created me to be on a mission, created all of us to be a solution, to be a hero, to be a deliverer of something or someone. That's just about it. The second thing, after you found out that you're a hero, the question you need to ask is this: who is my villain? What am I fighting against? Who is it that stands against me and my mission? Who is it that wants to derail our mission? Who is it that wants to stand up against us? Who is it that wants to scatter us? Who is it that wants to bring a wedge between me and my mission, between me and my vision? That's the villain. It could be an entity, it could be a human being, it could be the environment, it could be circumstances, it could be whatever, the weather. Who is my villain? Who is my villain? It could be pervading things on the face of the earth. Maybe it's hunger. Hunger becomes a villain. And you're so stripped. You want the hunger that is being declared in the Horn of Africa every single working 5 years or 10 years must go. That becomes a villain because you're a deliverer, you're a hero. And so you go up against it. It might be terrorism, and so you rise up against it and you cut its head off because you're the hero. And then the third question you've got to ask yourself is this: for me to do my work as a hero, for me to take out the villain, what is in my toolbox? What is my toolbox in the first place? What do I have to use? What is my speciality? What are my gifts? What are my talents? What are my strengths? What are those things that are going on for me? What is the thing that I am so passionate about? These are life-defining questions, and your life is supposed to revolve around that nucleus. And the problem is that we are revolving our lives around someone else's judgment. Our identity is schizophrenic. We don't know who we are. I'm just jumping the gun, but I'm going to come back to that. But you need to find out who is it that you're born to deliver. You need to find out who is it that is your villain, and you need to find out what is in your toolbox. Once you realize the answers to these questions, those guys who normally say that life is boring, believe me, you will now start working. You'll be like a pregnant woman. Can you make a woman unpregnant? That's what they call abortion, and it's murder. Actually, it's murder. And you cannot abort this. It gets a hold of it, becomes part and parcel of you. It's no longer an appendage. You know what an appendage is? An appendage is something that you paste on. Something like you can slap an adhesive on the wall that sticks, and then after some time it falls. That's an appendage. But something that is inside of you is not an appendage. It is part and parcel of you. It has your DNA. It has your passion. It has your heart. It has your blood. It has your sweat. It has your tears. It has your life. That's what you gain after asking these 3 questions. You will never be the same again. You will have to grow. You will have to get a mentor. You will have to read. You'll have to research. You'll have to gather information. You will have to be strategic, and you'll have to be an ardent planner. You will have to stay focused and urgent and directional. You will have to be sharp and become a master of your craft. You have to refine yourself over and over again, because you owe it into this world. You have to fight, deliver. It doesn't come cheap. Deliverance doesn't come cheap. You have to fight and keep delivering. You have to be misunderstood, and you have to understand that you're going to be misunderstood. And by the way, you're going to be misunderstood because of the very fact that very few people do this. They go all like herds of cows, herds of cattle in one direction, and they've been called to be unique. And you'll have to be misunderstood. You'll have to be rejected and ridiculed. And by the way, they'll have to affront you. Some of them just fight you right out, straight out, shamelessly fight you. Shamelessly. I see it on the news every single day. They will try to suppress you because they are scared of you. They are scared of you because you remind them that they also are supposed to be deliverers, but they are not delivering. They are too comfortable in what they're doing, and so they're going to fight you. Every time that you see someone has been assassinated, there have been a hero who has reminded the status quo of how things are supposed to be different. Every time you see someone being vilified, if you check enough, that's a hero right there who has been misunderstood. And so you've got to be reflective in life. And I'm going to close with these 5 questions that Dr. Myles Munroe left us with. I've asked these questions very many times on this podcast, and I'm going to throw them to you to also start considering the answers. I do believe that when you get the answers to these questions, they are much more potent than the degree that you have or you do not have. Much more potent than any connection you could be banking on. Because the answers to these questions, they form the foundation, the crux of the matter. Everything begins and ends on the answers to these 5 questions. Everything in your life. The question number 1, who am I? I mean, the thing that you see around the world today is people unaware of who they are. Who am I? Get an authentic answer, pure, true, authentic answer to that question. You'll never be the same again. Number 2, where do I come from? You come from somewhere. Where you come from determines what you're supposed to do. Where you come from determines what you stand for, what you don't stand for. Where you come from determines what you've been equipped with and why. Number 3, why am I here? One of the most powerful questions you might ever ask, and seldom do people ask that question. Why do you think you're breathing in and out? Why is it that you never died at childbirth? Why is it that that disease that got you admitted in hospital never took you out? Why is it that you travel for kilometers from one country to another while sick, but you're still alive, you never died? Why is it that you've gone through those heartbreaks, my friend, and you've been heartbroken, left, right, and center, but you're still here? Question number 3, why am I here? Question number 4, what can I do? What can you do? I think the worst thing that we see on the face of the earth is people becoming a jack of all trades and a master of none, because they never ask themselves, what can I do? What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? What is that you can do? And finally, where am I going? We are all going somewhere. I don't care who you are. President, pauper, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, we're all going somewhere. All of us are going somewhere. You've got to consider where you're going before you can start and get answers to that question. But you see, where you're going is not just a place that is disconnected from where you've come from and from what you've done, or from who you are, or from why you're here. Where you're going is a connection of all these 4 questions. Who you are, where do you come from, why are you here, and what can you do? So where you're going is connected to that. Once you find answers to these questions, friends, you'll never ever be the same. So I'm coming to a close of this series, hopefully, and what I've been sharing with you is that we need to be reflective to change the way our lives are. If we're not going to be reflective, we'll always be on a life by default, which is not the design that God had for us. I hope this makes sense to you. Until next time, bye-bye. God bless you. A special shout out to my mentor Jeffrey Howard of Visionary Business University, found at mastermindmentor.com, who has graciously provided me with the soundtrack and the introductory track to this podcast. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.